Surprisingly, the superfan made the finale. Who would have thought that was going to happen? He joins me now. Hello, Johnson.
Hello. How are ya?
I'm good, thank you, Johnson. Like I say to many of the players who have made it this far, we have much to discuss. Firstly, are you well?
Mate, I'm stressed, but I'm very well. I'm
Okay.
very, very well.
Stressed,
Yeah,
but good.
I'm very good.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. You must have some pretty good good gameplay energy, maybe, because I don't feel it through the screen. Like, I can see you playing hard, and that makes me think, get rid of Johnson. But for whatever reason, well, I think I know the reason, and I'll get to it in a second, but there's got to be something that we don't see, or me specifically, that makes people go, we've got to keep him. Because to me, too much of a threat, get him out soon.
Yeah. Should have got me out. What you don't see, I think, Neil, is what this game is about today compared to the old game.
Yep.
The old game, you got to know the person. You got to know, Trev's personality, Tim's humour, Reggie's, banter, the lot. You got to know them as a person. The reason why the newbies were on the back foot was you knew our strategy and our strategy only. There's nothing else that goes through our mind besides the strategy. But that's not how it works. We have laughs, we have humour, we have hearts. We are people too. We bleed as well. And I think that I actually resonate. And I was myself. I was unapologetically myself. And I think that that's why people in the house loved me and didn't want me gone, because I was myself, and I brought a level of fun and happiness and just joy to the house. I think.
You, which is interesting because how everyone has their intro package when they enter the Big Brother house. They made you seem very fastidious, very sort of OCD, everything in order. And I thought this guy's going to snap because he's going into a house where he can't control anything.
Yeah. I love micromanaging everything. And that was I think the biggest challenge for me. Not being in control. But I kind of loved it because I didn't need to think as much. I didn't need to, Big Brother would just sort everything out. I just needed to make decisions. I needed to be cutthroat and make decisions. But I think that with that being said, I just lingered. Nominated 9 times, I just lingered. Literally the cat with 9 lives. And I didn't go home. There's a reason why I didn't go home, because of the relationships, because of the genuine connections that I had with people in the house. And also, you can't look past the gameplay. I walked in wanting to make massive moves, wanting to play the game hard, play the game strong, and I did. Bold players had to make bold moves. I nominated myself, for God's sake. Why? I was already nominated 6 or 7 times before that. I wanted to nominate myself again. But yeah, I think aside from all that, the gameplay, the strategy, the intensity, there is another Johnson that you don't really get to see, which is the warm, loving, proud, and humble me.
My thought on you was, and this is a part of the narrative, so it's not necessarily the main part of you, but what we saw was everyone feeling a little bit guilty. And I think it was after that vote where Layla left, everyone felt a little bit like, we can't get our Johnson because he really wants to be here. It's his dream. Was that a strategy that you played up to, or
no?
Was it just something that you were always talking about how much you loved being in the house because it was your dream?
No, no one cared. No one cared because everyone's in there for the same reason. Sorry, not for the same reason, for the same purpose.
Yeah.
And you need to worry about yourself. That definitely, I don't want to stand by this one, that definitely was not a, let's do this for him because it's his dream. No. I think that's the way it may have come across, but that's definitely not it. If that was the case, why was I continually nominated?
Well, I think because people wanted to get you out because I think you are, like I said early on, you're a huge threat. Like, to me, look, you didn't seem like much of a threat when the term J Squad was mentioned. I thought these guys are going to go really quickly. But then you became a really tough competitor, and week after week, I would see other people in your alliance fall, and yet you didn't.
Yeah. I think that because, well, in particular, I made it clear that I was there to play the game. And I said to people, let's play the game. And if you want to be with me, I've got you. I've got you. And week in, week out, the people that were going up for nominations next to me or going up for eviction next to me, I had the numbers. I just had the numbers. And sometimes it was a swing vote. Sometimes it was a conversation with, a swing vote like Reg or Tim, who I needed to swing. Some people saw it as a transactional approach, but aside from all that, Tim and I had a very long, deep relationship in the house.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know about that deal that you made so early on to get to the top 10. Even I didn't feel like the deal was real when you guys were agreeing. Like, did you feel that deal was 100% real? You obviously both followed it.
Hell yeah. What you don't see is the amount of times that Tim says to me, let's get rid of Taras, and I was like, no. And JC, and I'm like, no. And Alicia, and I'm like, no. The amount of times that they were like to me, my own team, we need to nominate Tim. And I was like, no, what for? I was like, he's actively getting rid of players that are not us four. So why would we get rid of him? So it was hard playing both sides, but I said that I have made a deal, a no-shoot policy with Tim, and that no-shoot policy was, or no-fire policy was, you don't come for me and I don't come for you. And I think it worked. It evidently worked to the 10. And then in the 5, where it got even more heated, was when Alicia was going home against Gabby. And I pitched to him and I said, what do you want? What do you want? You got the 10? Well, what's next for you? And he goes, I want the 5. And I said, okay. I said, I'll give you the 5 if you go and tell Jules to vote for Gabby. And he voted for Gabby, but Jules voted for Alicia, and that's when Alicia went home. Then I was torn. Reggie versus Tim in the double eviction. And let me tell you, as a fan of the show, you try and make that decision. I double dare you. I double dare you. All these haters online, you should have done this and that. I stuck to someone who I knew was in my corner and who I trusted with everything and who I knew was going to have my back. And aside from that, the trust and loyalty, Tim and I had an incredible relationship. Incredible.
I think it's because, obviously, Reggie is the queen and everyone, Look, you would have gotten hate either way. You're a newbie, and either way, an OG was going to go. So you were going to get hate no matter what. I think we never saw that relationship with Tim. We saw the agreement, and we never really saw the bond, but we did see a bond with you and Reggie, and I think that's why people thought that there was no way that Reggie was going to go because you had that bond with her.
Yeah, absolutely. If I have a bond with someone in the house that's shown, there's at least 6 others that you don't see.
Yeah.
At least. Tim and I, like I said, everyone knows Tim for the curly-headed wacko that, is jarring and abrasive and is an incredible mastermind. But he's an onion. The more layers you peel back, the more you get on a deeper level and you start to get to know Tim. You get to know Tim. And I got to know Tim Dormer. And I'm so happy and I'm glad that I got to know Tim because other people's initial opinion, prejudice means F all, means nothing when you get to know the actual person. And if that's anything to go by, don't judge a book by its cover, for God's sake.
Your mum and dad absolutely kill me when they were craned in. It must have been really tough to not be able to just like give him a hug. But that was because of COVID restrictions. A lot of people were like, why? But that's because of, COVID. Can't bring it in the house. But your mum you were worried that she was going to freak out on the crane and she was jumping around, scaring the shit out of your dad. Like that, as a super fan, that must have been like a real moment for you to go, wow, because they look so proud and full of joy to see you sort of living your dream.
Yeah. Yeah. My family's a real, an emotional one for me to talk about. Before going into the house, I was working down the south coast in Sydney, and I wasn't allowed to come back home. I wasn't allowed to come back to Sydney, go to my place, come back to Sydney to see my family or friends. So I saw no one for about 2 or 3 months before going into the Big Brother house. So I went straight from working to isolation with BB into the house.
Wow.
So there was no physical contact, seeing eye to eye. Maybe have a conversation like this with my parents 2 or 3 times a week, but otherwise, nothing. So to see them after 3-4 months was so emotional. And when you've got so much love and respect for your family and parents like I do, you can resonate. And for them, they knew how much this meant to me. And I knew that they would understand. And that's why when they came in, they were just in awe. They were blown away. They saw that I was healthier, skinnier, and darker, which was great. But, they were probably worried why I'd lost so much hair. I should have just said, it's the stress, calm down, it's the stress. And also, you got poor genes, thank you. You got poor genes.
Speaking of your hair, I spoke to Brenton, and he got to inform me that you guys had a really cute relationship, and it just involved hair removal on each other.
Yeah. Hair removal from here down.
Yeah. That's what he said. He was talking about a lot of removal in a lot of places. Very graphic.
Whoa. Yeah, look, I shaved his bum twice. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know if you are, because he said the same thing.
It's cute. He's got a cute bum. No, I'm kidding. No, because look, he saw me hairless, lasered, looking sleek, and he was like, I want that. And I was like, well, let me show you. And so we just evolved. I started cutting his hair, trimming his beard. I mean, people genuinely asked me if there was a barber in the house who was trimming up my beard. And I was like, no, that's just me doing my hair. That's just me doing my beard. And yet I lent him my razor, and as a parting gift, on the last day, I gave him my blade, because he was using a 6 or 7 year old blade with no replacement head that was cutting him. I was like, mate, go to the shops for God's sake and buy one. So I gave him mine. I was like, here, go use it outside. You need it.
You had a really well-rounded experience. Obviously, your parents got to visit. You got to be head of house. You won a challenge on your own.
Just one on my own.
Just one on your own. And the only thing you really didn't get was a showmance, which would have just really just like full-rounded Big Brother experience. Although I thought for a second it might have happened when Reggie was a little bit confused by the kiss strategy.
If only I kissed her. If only I should have just lent in. I should have just
lent in. She would have let it happen. She looked like she was interested.
Yeah, you know what? And she did comment on my legs a couple of times. So I reckon she wanted a piece of Johnson. I'm kidding. But no, I should have kissed her. I should have just kissed Reg.
Because if you did that, then you would have had a romance, or maybe like the really romantic time when she was commenting on your fat fingers.
Yeah. She needs to learn how to flirt, and not be. Nah, that's Reg. Reg and I had such a beautiful relationship in the house. Yeah, so loving, so respectful, but damn, sometimes she pissed me off with those comments.
So when you're sitting around, obviously you have to sit around for a long time before Big Brother's, when you sit on the lounge, you sit around for a long time waiting for Big Brother to speak. Your resting face, so a lot of people have resting bitch face. Your resting face is like, it's like when you're happy, your face is really happy. And when you're resting, your face is utterly disgusted with everything that's going on, or that's what it looks.
No, utterly disgusted. That's what it looks. No, I've got this really strong crease in my forehead, and it's very, it's just me. Like I'm not.
It's not bitchy. You just look really disgusted with everything that's going on.
Yeah,
which is funny because it instantly turns happy and joyful when you smile, but when it's resting, you are angry. When you went into the house, were you ready to play at 100 the whole time? Was that your game plan going in, or were you going to suss it out and think, well, maybe I should be a bit under the radar for a while?
No, there's nothing under the radar about these eyebrows. I couldn't be under the radar. That's not me. I said I wanted to go in there and play a big game, and that's what I wanted to do, and I did, and I'm so proud of myself that I did. There was never an opportunity. There was actually 1 week that I lie. That's a lie. There was 1 week that Tim and I said to each other, do you want to take the back seat this week? As opposed to being at the forefront. And we did. And I'm pretty confident that's when we messed up all the nominations and had the Operation Shambles.
Yes, it was very shambolic that week. That was
shambolic behaviour.
That was very confusing. JC voted for Lulu. It was
all over the shop. Estelle again. It was all over the shop.
It was all over the shop. Hey, I spoke to Estelle and because I wanted to figure out why your relationship was so, I don't know, strained from early on because we just didn't see it. And like I said to Estelle, I can see how you're annoying. Not you, Johnson, Estelle. So maybe that's what he was feeling. And she didn't really give me a clear answer. She said you guys are cool, which I'm sure you are. But I didn't really understand I don't know, why she irked you so much.
Nah, you know what it is? I think, look, Estelle and I are cool, yeah? We're both very opinionated. We're both very upfront. We both have thoughts and feelings about everything. And they're different. But that's okay. That's okay. It's okay that they're different. And I think because she's very similar in the regard that she speaks up for what she thinks is true on her end.
Yeah.
And so do I. That's why there were so many moments where we were like, okay, you need to go, or you need to go. Yeah. Exactly. But that's, you know what? It's not a bad thing. You and I are not the same, but...
No, my eyebrows would never be that fabulous. You know what I mean? They could never be that fabulous.
Yeah. I've got so much appreciation for the sort of woman that, for the powerful, strong woman that Estelle is. And yeah, we are so cool outside the house. I've got no animosity. I've got no grudge or hate or anything. There's nothing. I've moved on from the game because it was a game. And the reason why I wanted to get her out so much, because she wanted to get me out so much. And she wanted me out because I wanted her out. We were going for each other. And it was open and it was obvious to the point where at times we would go up to each other, shake each other's hands and say, I'm putting a point in. She was like, yeah, I know. She was like, I'm putting it. I was like, yeah, cool. At least we both know. Done. So it's not going to be a surprise.
You know what we didn't see coming was Evil Taras. I love a villain. It's one of my favourite things in every show. Did you see Evil Taras coming?
No, I didn't. I didn't see Evil Taras coming. I was stunned at his nomination. So when he put me in the chair to get rid of me, aside from the game, Taras and I had a very, very deep relationship, a deep friendship. And so that's why I was so taken back, the fact that he would nominate a friend, but it was a game and it is a game. So let's play. But I knew that after that point, what it meant. I don't like to be told, yes, I'm not going to vote for you, and then you do. So when he nominated me up against Alicia, I put him aside and I said to him, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get rid of me? He said, yes. And I said, now this is the Taras I want to see. Tell me to my face. Don't tell me anything else. Don't say one thing and do another.
That seemed to upset a lot of people that he was lying directly to their faces. That was obviously a strategy on his point. Why did it upset people so much? Because it is just a game. Why do you think he has to be so honest to your face?
Because I think beyond the honesty and beyond the game, there's a friendship evolving. There is. And let me tell you now, Taras and I are like this. We are super tight. I've got so much love for him, and he's such a beautiful person. And that's why I think I was just taken back by the fact that when I love as a mate, when I love as a family member, I do so with everything, and I'll do everything that I can to make sure that you're in the best position. So I thought he was going to do the same. Evidently not. But I was proud of him for making that move, for trying to take me out. Because he said, I want to add another shark to my resume.
And he meant it.
Yeah, he meant it. Yeah, he meant it. He got rid of Tim and he wanted me gone next. Because he said, if I'm standing there next to you, I will not win. He said that to my face. And I said, well, let's go. And he thought he had Reggie on side up against Alicia. But I wasn't called the mayor of Strat Vegas or the king of Stratton Island for nothing. Where my scrambles were incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, it was the most I've ever seen you run, you know what I mean? That's probably why you lost so much weight in the house, you know what I mean? All that running around trying to make sure that you weren't going to get voted out. It is good to see. How are you feeling, by the way, today? Because you would have had a lot of interviews, and also I've been seeing you on Tim's socials having a really good time.
Yeah, it's the first question. Yeah. So today's a big day.
Yeah.
But it's all a part of it. Let's go. Let's get into it. I'm feeling excited. I'm thrilled. Nervous.
Yeah.
You can't not be nervous. You can't.
No, of course not.
You can't not be nervous. But just it's fulfilling. And the socials. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what are you referring to? Which one? Tell me which one are you referring to?
I think everyone was the same, Johnson. You look like you were, if there was a table to be danced on, I think you would have been on the table dancing on it.
Is this the drums?
Yeah. You were on stage. You were dancing with JC. Was that a private performance? Were other people there? What was happening?
No, so that was JC's tour. So JC's touring around Australia.
And you just decided to do that in front of everybody?
Do you want to laugh? So someone screwed him up with a drum kit, right? And he called me up. He's like, bro, I need you. I was like, yeah, cool. Bro, I'm here for you. What do you need? He's like, I need you to drive me around and do this. So anyway, he came to my place, and I've got that drum just sitting on the side, in the house, in my place. And he goes, bro, is that the drum you said that you can play? I was like, yeah, I can. I can play that. I was like, but I haven't picked it up in a long time, man. It's been a while. And he was like, give me a beat. And I was like, what do you want? I was like, what do you want to hear? And he's like, give me this. I was like, all right, yeah. And then he goes, do you want to play tonight? I was like, bro, it's 4:30. I was like, it's 4:30. What do you want? He's like, bro, just come and just do you. So I kid you not, no rehearsal, no prior, nothing before that. He took the drum with him, and I obviously went to support my boy JC in his tour. And I was hanging around with Tim and Jules, and he called me up, and I was like, so we're actually doing this? He's like, yeah. He was like, just listen to the drummer and follow the beat. And I did, and I had so much fun. Much fun.
It really looked like you were having a good time. Johnson,
yeah.
I love that you played a strong game. I love that you are a super fan and you have made the final three. The grand finale, when I push this out, will be tonight. So if you want to vote for Johnson, you can. All the details and the link are in the description below. Johnson, I will see you at the grand finale.
My boy, I can't wait to meet you and give you a massive hug. And let's do this, Australia. Fingers crossed.
And maybe bring your razor and we can, do a Brenton, just a full Brenton on me.
Yeah, your bum. We'll shave your bum.